Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sling'N podcast, episode 143. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, man. I'm getting a little jealous. Who's your friend?
Oh, that's Slimer.
I'm not going to be able to do a show tonight. I'm just going to be looking at the stuffed ghost.
He's going to be staring at Slimer
like,
sitting back there chilling. Don't worry. He's only judging every decision you've ever made.
Right. I feel like you should probably catch him with your backpack thing.
That would be cool. I'm actually thinking about strapping him to the belt and carrying him around with me when we go trick-or-treating. I think to add to the cosplay costume that I'm doing for Halloween this year. But yeah, so short story, my kids obviously have been paying attention to the fact that, Daddy's a gigantic fucking nerd. And I've been customizing and accurizing a life-size Ghostbuster prototype. Yeah, let me rephrase. Accurizing to the movie aesthetic.
Fucking just doing hand loads for laser bolts or whatever the fuck that thing shoots. Adding one more grain of plutonium at a time.
First of all, it's a proton accelerator pack. And you don't cross the streams. No, I mean accurizing it to the aesthetics of a true screen accurate.
Yeah, I know what you mean now, but for a moment I just pictured you on a lead sled with a proton pack. Nope, calling it high left. That was me. I flinched. Let's do it again.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh,
yeah, we're good.
Christ.
All right.
No,
it's all good.
It's funny.
No, it's just going to be one of those shows.
That's what you said on a gun podcast. You just on a gun podcast. You're trying to just.
Yes, I said accurizing a proton pack.
Sail on by this. Like it's a thing that you didn't just say, but you.
Now, if we really want to get into it, if you watch the precision of the stream, of which you should not cross. Some accurizing. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Maybe a few reflectors. I don't know exactly how you would harness a proton accelerator's beam, but I can imagine that Egon throwing it together in his basement probably could have thrown a couple extra doodads on there to help focus that shit a little bit. Just saying.
I heard EOTech was coming out with a third focal plane reticle for just that.
You broke up a little bit. Say that one more time.
I said I heard EOTech was coming out with a third focal plane reticle for just such an occasion.
Maybe that's what it requires. Maybe it needs a red dot.
See, get it? Third focal plane?
Yeah, third focal plane. I get it.
All right.
Either way, no bullshitting though. The kids realized I'm a giant nerd. Long story short, my daughter brought me her stuffed Slimer and said, "Daddy, I want you to have this." And I said, "You know what, baby? That's very sweet. It's going to be on every show and every video call that I happen to be on." So, guys, welcome to the latest guest, permanent fixture, Slimer.
Until Boo Boo is 18, you will be seeing that thing.
Oh, no, it'll probably still be there.
Oh, yeah, fair. Oh, my goodness. So, dude, before we get into mouse guns, can I tell you something awesome? That's also awesome. I zeroed the shit out of my hunting rifle. I mean to tell ya. I found out what that Ruger Gunsight Scout rifle really likes. I have owned this rifle for quite a long time. It has killed bear, singular bear. A bear has died at its hand. And I've been shooting like 150 and 160 grain projectiles out of it for a long time. Now, man, that Gunsight Scout likes some heavy. 178 ELDX from Hornady in their Hornady Precision Hunter loading, factory load. Bro. Stacking bullets at 50 and stacking bullets at 100. And then Justin and I played our favorite. All the customers canceled their gun lessons today because it's raining game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we stood under the carport where it couldn't rain on us, and we shot at claybirds, 2, 4, and 6 inch claybirds. and we just had like a VTAC barricade, and we were doing like improvised barricade positions, shooting clay birds off the berm. Oh, bro, so much fun. And I shot way more 308 ammo than I should have. I mean,
man, you got to. It's like grandma's cast iron skillet, right? You got to get it seasoned and get that barrel nice and hot in order to really get it working right for you.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. So if I'm on here bitching in a couple weeks, maybe 6 weeks, about the deer I've missed with a rifle, it won't be because, it'll be 100% because I got all Bucky fever and fucked it all up.
Yeah. And
also my bow zeroed. All my deer killing stuff is zeroed.
Well, in the case of your bow, we had to zero you.
Okay. All right. Fair. The Indian and the arrow have both been tweaked in this case. More Indian than arrow, but yeah.
Yeah. You just got to jab a screwdriver. Well, for your standard issue, model Kent, one each of Green Mountain Defense variety, in order to adjust it, you have to jab a flathead screwdriver into its neck and crank.
Yeah. Yep. Just a couple turns will do you. But yeah, man.
Just a couple turns. You got to there's a hint. If you get in the right spot, there's a helpful little click detent between the spinal cord that helps you realize you're aligned properly. But while I'm very happy to hear that the dangerous part of your archery skill set has now been moved to in front of you and at some responsible distance.
Yeah.
That's the adjustment you had to make. We are actually here, though, to talk about what I like to call ballistic nuisances.
I thought it was nuances.
No, nuisances.
Oh, it is nuisance. Oh, look at that. It says nuisance. I thought it said nuance.
Yeah. I thought it was quite clever.
You got me on it.
I thought it was clever. All right. So this is spawning off of a conversation that Kent and I started earlier this week regarding the efficacy of 22 caliber carry guns, right? As shown on screen with Kent, his Ruger LCR it's 22 long, right? It's not 22 mag, it's 22 long.
Not a mag, it's a long rifle.
Right. So in that same talk about some of the other calibers, because as you might imagine, there's a lot of, I don't want to say taboo, but for lack of a better word, taboo around the topic of carrying a rimfire cartridge for self-defense. Add on top of that a couple other calibers that are known, especially to the young ladies, actually just women in general, whenever they walk into a gun store for the first time. And what am I talking about when I say that? So 22 long rifle, 32 ACP, 25 ACP, those little bitty pesky bullets that probably wouldn't pierce paper, at least if you listen to the old thud behind the gun counter. So I consider them all about the same in that regard. I think it's fair to say that at least the common belief and conception about these calibers is that they are anemic compared to their contemporary, more popular calibers, 9mm, even 380. I wouldn't classify as anemic. It's definitely a limp-wristed 9mm, but it's certainly not as chintzy as a 32 ACP or below. So 9mm, 380, 45, the Lord's caliber, 40 Smith & Wesson, that caliber that used to be popular about 5 minutes ago, and then everybody hates it. So Kent, where are we at with this, man? Like, so I assume my gender. I'm 22 long rifle revolver. What is your business case or use case or justification for handing a dashing young woman such as myself such a nuisance caliber?
Okay, so I think I'll start with, this ain't got dick shit all to do with gender. TJ's being glib, of course. I don't care if you're chick. I don't care if you're purple or pink or upside down or they, them, or whatever the fuck you might be. A little gun serves a purpose. Okay. So I'm going to spare you all a whole bunch of conversations about what would be better. Okay? Because there's fucking, I would like TJ in a talk with a fucking ISR pred. Like, did I military that right? That was pretty close, right?
Yeah, no, you're dead on. That's a good job. Good. Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yay, I military right.
They can be taught.
See? So, TJ in a tactical operations center with a Predator drone would be my first choice for defense. I just fucking hit a radio and go, Big Bear to Ginger 1, please discretion and eliminate the following targets. And like he would just beep, bop, boop, 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 and fucking shit would rain down from heaven and it'd be over. That'd be cool. But I can't carry TJ in my pocket, and I can't carry a tactical operations center in my pocket, and I don't have a license to fly a drone, so I'm fucked. Can't do 3 for 3.
Also, Hellfires are about $250,000 a piece.
Facts. Can't do that. And maybe I don't want to. First of all, this whole stupidity about pistols and 45 and 10 mil and 357 and blah 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 blah. Service calibers are the same, guys. Service calibers are the same. When shooting humans, which is our primary use case and function, service caliber projectiles of the same design and variation perform very similarly in human opponents. So Dr. Sherman K. House, huge study on applied ballistics regarding what has happened when humans are shot with guns. He's a doc in a major metropolitan hospital where they be shooting each other all the time. So he gets to touch a good number of people shot by guns. And my man said, look, I can't tell the difference. 9, 40, 45, 357, blah, 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 blah. I don't see a lot of big difference. I don't know what they were shot with. Unless I know, I don't know. Okay. So once we get past that conversation, I have settled in my life on a 9mm. I've said, you know what? 9mm is the thing. I'm going to carry a 9. That's what I'm going to carry. If I'm in the woods, I'm going to carry a 10 mil. Because it might not be about people now. It might be about bears or hogs or aliens or something, right? So I've decided on 9, and once I'm past deciding on 9, now everybody else is playing this little race to the bottom of 9mm pistols in terms of size. So we carry our freaking a Cosent 2011. 21 round mag, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I can appendix carry it. Yes, I can conceal it. That's fine. Depending on clothing, though, I have to start working my way back. And sometimes I might have to wear khakis and a tucked in polo shirt. And sometimes I might have to wear a full suit. Sometimes, like today, I might be in my garage doing kettlebell workouts, wearing nothing but some workout shorts and an Under Armour. Now I have a life goal to protect my child and my wife. I'm always going to be armed. I am always going to be armed. And I'll tell you what, this little 22 revolver allows me to literally always be armed. Not always have a gun around, not always have a gun nearby, not always have a shotgun leaning up in the corner or this or that or one of them little quick access safes. I'm playing with some stuff, by the way, from Stopbox. That's 3 episodes ago with the shotgun fellas. But not that stuff. I'm talking gun on body, right? I can do that 24/7 with this little gun. So that's one use case. Another use case might go a little something like this. Claude Warner and other Rangemaster folk often talk about regular Earth people. TJ and I are by no means regular Earth people. I'm not a regular dude. If you saw me in my regular civilian walk around life, civilian's the wrong term. How about pedestrian walk around life, where I'm like the guy with the job from the place that's very corporate and very sing-songy. You might think I knew more about golf clubs than guns. Like most of my compatriots do over there. Those of us who run a firearms trading business, or those of us who have trained martial arts, those of us who have shot competitively, those of us who have served or whatever, like your two hosts of this podcast, we're not regular Earth people. We make decisions on guns based on, 25-yard B8 scores and shooting 20 splits and running 2-second 3-2 drills and the list goes on. And we forget that your average practitioner of concealed carry is probably getting to the range 15 times a year if we're fucking lucky.
I would consider that it pains me to more than twice a year.
Right. I agree. And
at least with respect, let me clarify that because it does deserve clarification. With respect to designated and intentional, deliberate self-defense training. I'm not talking about going to the range I'm not talking about popping pop cans and shooting, 100 yards with your 308 that you might take out you could probably do that every damn weekend, or maybe you go trap shooting. I mean, intentional and deliberate self-defense shooting, being comfortable with the gun that you carry every single day.
Yeah, no, and that's even less, right? But what I'm kind of focusing on is from an ease of use and an ease of concealment and carry perspective. And there's a lot. Let's skip the argument for a minute about how there's stuff in between, because there is. And for the people in my life, my wife being a great example, we've picked an in-between gun for Soph, right? Soph runs a Glock 48. A highly customized Glock 48 with a red dot, but a Glock 48 nonetheless. Okay? So Soph's rolling around like a regular Earth person with a Glock 48, a very capable 15-round 9mm gun with a red dot. She's picked the middle. Okay? Some others, it might be even a little bit harder to get them to settle on something that makes any real degree of sense for them in their life for their use case. Which is why those of us in the defensive training industry have got to put our fucking money where our mouth is and try different stuff every once in a while.
Yep.
So for all this falderall and all the crap I've caught on the Instagram and all my buddies, my well-meaning friends who are being like hee ha ha, like sharp stick, pointy ear, all those jokes, brother, I got you. I really do. I got you. And to a degree, you're not wrong, but I'm going to tell you this. I ran this little freaking 8-shot 22 with my actual defensive ammo, by the way, which we'll get to in a moment, on an IDPA night where I had to run out of the house real fast and couldn't grab like all the other stuff. And I literally went with what I was wearing that very minute, which was this gun. And you know something? I performed a tick or two off of how well I would have performed otherwise. Excepting, of course, the reload. But everything else, I mean, dude, I'm hitting targets from 3 to 15 yards, partial hostages, non-threat scenarios, headshots only, split, like pretty quick, not 2011 quick, but not as slow as the average person who shows up to that and just, split, like not like that. I was running this gun pretty quick. Got these little XS fiber optic sight on the front of it that's actually sized right for the 22. That's a thing. Turns out you can't just buy an LCR sight and slap it on a 22 LCR because the motherfucking height's different. So there's two heights. There's the 9mm 327 Magnum, 327, 9mm, 22, and 22 Mag have their own LCR sight height, which is what I've got here. 38, 357 have a different height. So now we know. Okay? Anyway, here's the deal. I'm able to run this gun pretty well defensively. I can carry it in an MK pocket holster in my pocket of khakis or whatever, and it entirely disappears. I can carry it in a Filster Enigma with a Harry's. Well, the Harry's holster with a revolver holster from Harry's holster. And the son of a bitch absolutely disappears. I got the 3-inch holster for the Enigma, so I can carry my 3-inch 22 LCR with the hammer, the LCRX. and I got the 1.78 inch barrel right here, and they both fit in that same Enigma holster, which is really cool. Great for working out, great for all that kind of stuff. They both have identical sights on them. They both are X-ring 0 at 10 yards with federal punch. So here is the reason that I am willing to do this, okay? And this is one of those deals where when I first met Phil Groff, I thought it was interesting that he was so he talked about ballistics and ammunition and how he thought many modern ballistics were a fad. And at the time, first of all, at the time he was right. Until to a degree, he's still right, because these companies come out with ballistics and then they talk about the new 9mm loadings from Spear, like the new Gold Dot. Dude, that Gold Dot's been pretty much the same Gold Dot since Gold Dots were Gold Dots, but every couple of years an ammo company needs something to put on their box. So you got to say some shit.
New and improved formula.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like new Coke versus old Coke or whatever. Here's the deal, guys. This shit is legit. Federal Punch, 22 LR. LR is what that says on that screen if you can't see this. Premium. They've got a whole thing on their website, 22 LR for defense. I'm skipping to this part right here, ladies and gentlemen. 13.75 inches of penetration in an FBI bare gelatin test. Federal Punch. Okay. So now why am I going to say like, hey, I'm willing to carry this just because of Federal Punch? There's two primary reasons for this. First one being the penetration is now there. Pistol bullets don't do shit for temporary wound cavity. What they do is they get to the thing they need to get to and they shut it the fuck down. That's a very, very, very realistic penetration example from a defensively reliable bullet. So this isn't the first time we've seen 22 with penetration. Stangers from CCI come to example, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time we've seen 22 with penetration that is what I would call defensively reliable. 22 LR suffers. Toy not a child? Toy not.
I didn't hear screaming, so not child.
Well, if it was child, he might just be Kaputsky entirely. Toy not.
No, sounded too. Yeah, sounded too hollow to be a child.
Right. Well, it's toy falling downstairs, not child. Anyway, so 22 is a rimfire cartridge. And if you've never kind of been taken through this, let me do it for you now. On screen is the rim. Yeah, there it is. Of a 22 LR. Okay. All the priming compound in a rimfire is in the rim of the cartridge, not in the center of a primer. Okay. So all that antimony and lead and pixie dust and shit is wrapped around the outside of a 22 LR. As such, there are some gaps in the priming compound that you'll find in most manufactured 22. So only like a Gila and shit like that, 22 LR, you'll find with the primer compound. Stuff. Yeah, match grade stuff. You'll find with the primer compound doing a full 360. Now we have a defensive load with match grade primer compound and kick-ass penetration for that defensive load, all in this little package, which now makes it viable. Okay, so I don't have the failure to fire, the click no bang syndrome that I would with traditional 22 LR that might have been used for defense. And yes, now I do have the penetration. Pairing that with an 8-round package in a LR LCR an easily swapped out sight, easily pocket carryable, a trigger that actually doesn't suck when you get it running, but boy, does it suck slow. It don't suck when you get her running. She just sucks slow. And most importantly, pairing this all in a defensive tool that you could advocate for anyone in your life and tell them, hey, man, this is your defensive tool. I'll tell you what, you can go to a pawn shop. You can buy one of these sons of bitches right now for $375. Ask me how I know. I bought that one for $325. $325 I bought this thing for. Okay? I put a $40 sight on it with a free 1/16 punch and a hammer. Right? Punch out, punch in. Just that easy. I bought a Filster Enigma chassis, and I bought a holster, and I bought a pocket holster. Pocket holster, $40. Filster Enigma chassis, $80. We're up to $120. Holster to bolt to the chassis, another $80. We're up to $200 in holsters. Done. All done, $200 in holsters. Gun.
Yeah. So to put into perspective, for the price of a Glock 19, 43, or 48, just defense package that you can carry on your person.
Yep. And now we get to the ammo where I can buy Federal Punch. Here, we'll do it live. I know what I just bought it for. Federal DERAL Punch 22 LR. Where are we? That's Cabela's. Midway. Screw it. We'll go right off we won't even do ammo seek. We'll go like top shelf normal American retailer.
Yeah, Cabela's, Bass Pro, Gander Mountain.
So Cabela's 50 rounds, 20 cents a round. So Cabela's is selling Federal Punch for 20 cents a round. Okay? To put that into perspective, defensive ammo for your typical 9mm, buck a shot easy. And 20 cents
for true social workloads, you're looking at about $1 easy.
Right. And the regular, 20 cents a round will get you a freaking, the basic bitch blazer brass practice ammo if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So for the same cost as 9mm, you can actually practice with your no shit defensive loads. Or you could do a good bit of practice with your no shit defensive loads and then substitute in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents a round, whatever the fuck. Because if you get a couple click no bangs, who gives a shit if you're running drills? Right? So in terms of costs of ammo, you could buy a 5,000 round brick at 22, no problem. And you could buy 500 rounds of Federal Punch, no problem. And there's probably 4 to 5 years worth of most regular American humans' use case in terms of like what they're going to train and defend with. So if you're sticking with me on this, 3.5, call it $400 for the gun out the door with the right sight on it. Call it $200 for holsters. You're at $600. Call it $400 for practice ammo, which is a dick load of practice ammo, and then a couple of boxes of the premium. I'd say $400 is a healthy ammo budget for enough Federal Punch and enough practice ammo to get you through five years. So I'm handing my defensive practitioner, here's the gun and what you need and how you need and what you're practicing with and the whole deal. And they're done writing checks at $1,000.
Yeah.
They're all done. Now it's on to the training, right? Which we could all agree, I'd rather me with the 22 revolver than Johnny Joe Dickhead that I just passed in Bass Pro today with like whatever the fuck he bought at Bass Pro. I don't care what it is. But, put me on one end of Bass Pro and put Johnny Joe Dickhead on the other end, give him a staccato. I'm going to fuck that dude up. Come at me, bro.
Fair.
You know
I am
mean?
curious though, because you mentioned the training element of it.
Yeah.
So we already know, and this might be surprising to some people, but there's not a huge saturation of firearms instructors. They really are a true minority, especially now. As a firearms instructor, you might feel like there's too many firearms instructors inside of your sphere, but take into account how many actually cater to someone who chooses a small framed revolver for the defensive carry.
Yeah.
Right. There's only an even smaller minority of guys that will do, because like here's the downside. This is one of the limiting factors I would think of going with this type of a form factor. And this isn't even limited to just the 22 rimfire piece, right? Even if I wanted to take, because I have the same gun in 38 special, if I wanted to take that gun and go do some serious training with it, a lot of the guys that I would probably go to first and foremost, or even an open enrollment class, is going to be expecting at least a Glock 19 or similar, magazine fed weapons, 9mm service caliber, right? Or something of that sort.
I'm gonna go with agree and disagree on this. So I both agree and disagree with you on what you're saying. First of all, I just talked about how I just bought this sumbitch at a pawn shop, 10 weeks ago. I had the LCR X 3-inch for much longer, train with it a little bit, whatever, have time on revolvers, da-da-da-da-da. I will teach a private lesson to anybody who brings anything to my range at any point in time. That's kind of my shtick, right? If you brought it, it's yours. I'm going to teach you how to run it. I would not refer to myself, however, as a small snub-nosed revolver specialist. Claude Warner, Wayne Dobbs, Daryl Blokey, Rhett Newmayer, etc. Forgive me if I'm pushing past you. Maybe Lee Weems, actually. So if I'm forgetting you in that list of humans, I'm sorry.
I think Lee does revolver training as well.
Yeah, but I don't know how much revolver training. But hold on.
Yeah. Well, let me clarify my point though, or let me clarify my position just a hair. I think to your point, I think just about any self-respecting firearms trainer, if someone went to them and said, "Hey, I just bought this little revolver. I want to carry this. Teach me."
Yep.
That's going to be one thing. I think it wouldn't be too difficult to find that. But to find someone that has who I would consider who can take me to the next damn level with a 22 revolver. Right. The people that specialize and have actually dedicated some significant time, people who I would consider are the authority, right, in small revolvers is going to be
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you're talking about, no disrespect to you, buddy, but like your average Joe trainer, right? Maybe he teaches a class every weekend, maybe once a month, whatever have you. Obviously, you're far more busy than that. But you dedicate yourself to exploring these newish horizons, at least for your own self, in hopes that you could translate that into an articulable and well thought out, well structured lesson plan to a student that brings you that same problem, right? Or that same desire.
Yep.
Not every swinging dick on the gun range that has an instructor after his title on a business card he got from Kinko's can say that.
No, I would say that's very true. But here's the other thing I would say. A well-crafted curriculum, a good POI, only suffers to guns like this due to ammo management and keeping them running, right? So, if most of my drills are tailored for 15 round or 10 round or 30 round or 80 round strings of fire for a full-size service handgun, and you're over there doing 8 of them at a time, you're going to struggle to keep up.
Right.
Now, if you don't give a fuck if you're struggling to keep up, and you realize that I give you 3 reps of everything, and all you do is you go, screw it, I'm going to get 1.5 reps of everything, and that's still going to be really good work to get with my defensive revolver that I brought, then rock on with your bad self, dude. So long as I don't turn around and you're putting your hand up every 5 minutes going, excuse me, instructor, I have to go put ammo in my clipazines again. Like, we going to be cool. So when I showed up to Range Master of Mastery Masters with a revolver, because it was part of the thing, not because I'm extra cool. You had to shoot a revolver for a qual-ish. Here's the deal. Man, I rolled up in that bitch with 70 moon clips loaded. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled up in there like, no, you don't understand. I shan't be reloading a moon clip. This shall not happen, good sir. I shan't be doing this. Like, and I shouldn't. I shouldn't.
I shan't you not. I shan't you not.
I shan't you not. That didn't happen. I never reloaded a moon clip all day. Pretty cool. That's not going to be possible with 22 LR. But my point being this. Most of my peers in this industry, if you presented them with, hey, I got $1,000 for defensive ammo, gun, gear, holster, blah, 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 blah. My budget's $1,000. And now I've got a training budget of another $1,000. Okay? So I'm either going to get 2 weekend classes out of that extra $1,000, just tuition, not counting burgers, beers, and hotels, by the way. Or maybe I'm going to get, 10 hours of private lessons for that $100 per hour. Or I could afford only one training class so that I can buy the extra expensive gun, right? What would you suggest I do? Would you suggest I get more gear or more training?
No.
Every peer I know, every person I know worth his or her salt is going to say, come on in, sweetheart. Come on in, brother, man. Run what you brung. I don't give a fuck what you brought. And the first dude on my line, hey, y'all, first dude on my line to open his mouth about that person, guy, oh, that motherfucker brought that stupid little gun and all. Bitch, please, come here. You're demoing all day. Show us what you know. You're in charge now. Congratulations. You've bought the ire of the instructor. Like,
congratulations. You played yourself.
You gonna learn today, my friend. That's all I have to say is you gonna learn today. Because I don't know what to tell you. I just don't care.
Separate but related question. Is it too late to bring back the dunce cap?
No, I don't. First of all, I don't think the dunce cap ever left. Right? I don't. It never left.
Yeah.
It just never went away entirely.
Yeah. For those of you too young to remember the dunce cap, the dunce cap was a form of public shaming. Whenever you had a kid that was misbehaving or not performing properly in class, practically just an idiot, the one who's sitting there trying to argue with the teacher that 2 + 2 actually equals 7.5, that window licker ended up with a giant conical hat on top of his or her head, sitting in a corner thinking about the poor choices they made in life with regards to academia.
Yeah.
Public shaming, like, look, we call it cancel culture now, but in reality, it's just public shaming. So, yeah, you get yourself a little time out with a nice pointy hat to wear for a few minutes that said dunce on it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, here's the thing, right? We want people, we the industry, we got to meet people where they are. So if where you are is I can barely get you to carry a gun, but I could get you to write $1,000 check for the whole system, for the right system, to include a shitload of ammo, I can conceal the motherfucker on your body no matter what or who you are. I can make it real easy for your lifestyle. I can make it easy to go for a walk with your girlfriends in your yoga pants. I can make it easy for you to lift with a motherfucker with your gym bros. I can make it easy for you to slip in your pocket so you can go to the office.
I look damn good walking next to my old lady in yoga pants. I'm just saying.
Right.
I own those yoga pants.
Oh, I was gonna say your old lady looks good in yoga pants too. That's a whole other fucking.
Well, I mean, that she does, but I feel like mine looks better.
0 out of 0 defenders of the Green Mountains agree with your fucking assessment. But anyway, your booty though is black stripper approved. I will give you that. That thing, there is.
We will. It truly is black stripper approved.
So that's so funny. But no, this is about barrier to entry, right? It's about ease of use. It's about barrier to entry. It's great for the recoil sensitive. And quite honestly, it's a very good for me. The role it has been filling is like an everyday carry for a while I figured it out. The role it's now going to fill is it's always going to be up in the upstairs safe, so that when I need a quick gun for something, like when I'm like, oh, I just want to be armed at the moment, but I don't want to put a lot of effort into it. Man, this is great. It's a great option.
Maybe you took off your work clothes. You're in some comfy chill around the house clothes. You ain't got to be completely naked without a firearm, right?
Absolutely. So it's
well, and I think, and that's one of the guys. This LCR is because even at 38, now to be fair, it recoils like someone swinging a baseball bat into your hand. Yeah. But it completely eradicated the excuse of, oh, what I'm wearing won't allow me to carry my Wonder Blaster 9000. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to put that on because it's too damn big and bulky. I don't feel like having a hammer dig into my gut for the whole day. Right?
Yep.
So no excuses exist at all when you've got a gun that small that's still very, very capable.
Yeah, there's literally no which is as you just said, there literally is no excuse now. Now why aren't you carrying a gun?
Right.
Keep talking. Like eventually the answer is just because I don't want to, or I'm not gonna, or fuck you, or I don't, I'm gonna subcontract the security, the people around me to somebody else, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got now, please don't approach your wife with the fuck you. You don't care about our kids. That'll get you about this far. And I don't mean his wife. I mean you, the listener, all y'all's wives. So don't hit your wife with that shit. But here's what I will say. If you approach your wife, you're like, listen, baby, I need you to carry this here Staccato XC with the magna-ported goddamn red dot rifle to kick ass fucking. I'm trying to do my cool range bro voice.
The threat neutralizer 9 million.
Yeah, buddy. And you approach your wife with that, you're like, if you don't carry this, you don't love our children. And she's looking at your one kid who's drinking water out of a urinal, and she's like, I don't know if I love him that much, to be honest with you. I just that one's a little like you. Like,
yeah.
You gotta be honest. Like, she's over there, she's looking at little Junior going, I wish I wouldn't have married his daddy, and maybe chlorine in the gene pool wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm not saying I'm going to throw him to a kidnapper, but I'm not going to sprint. I'll jog towards the white van to stop him from getting in, but
let's just say I've delayed the stranger danger talk. Okay.
Right. Little motherfucker's 20, still going over to random dudes going, hi, do you know my parents? Yeah. Anyway. All I'm saying, though, is, like, if it doesn't fit in your life, you're not going to do it. No. If exercise doesn't fit in your life, if you don't make accommodations to make it work, you won't do it. If jiu-jitsu doesn't fit in your life, you're not going to make accommodations, you won't do it. If guns and training and education and medical and all the shit that we're on here preaching, if we don't find a way to make it fit with our lives and with the lives of our families and loved ones, they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
and if they've got a thing,
go ahead.
If they've got a thing, if your wife's awesome with her Glock 34, but it's in a safe right now and she's somewhere else, sorry, dude, I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. I care that she's maybe a cool, fun, good competitive shooter. I care that she's learning. I care that she's enjoying it from a recreational perspective. Those are all cool things. But it don't mean a fuck if she doesn't have it with her and on her.
Right.
So there's my whole, nuisance guns and, the belly gun or the goddamn, better than a sharp stick. That's my whole shamoozle to this. Now, once you get past the justification piece, you quickly get into something interesting that I found, which is what I'm going to call the application piece. And I'm not the first guy to put something like this out on the internet. So if you think this is a wildly new, amazing idea, please see at Rangemaster et al. Anyway, to the degree that I am aware, as I am, that I'm in public carrying decreased capability, perceived decreased capability, both in terms of ballistics and in terms of usability, I find myself less mentally willing to engage. Period. End of story. Engage. Engage in what? I'm not going to try to talk to you about how every time I walk into Bass Pro in condition yellow, Cooper's color codes orange, Grossman 5000 Ninja dude view. But I'll tell you this, when I walk into Bass Pro, I look around and I kind of have this thought of like, if I'm carrying a 9mm with a dot on it, I'll sort of look around and be like, I can hit just about anything I can see up in this bitch. I'm not saying I can make a shot with a 9mm from one end of Bass Pro to the other, but I probably can. But I'm talking about like, you're in a hunting session and all you can literally see is like the archery section from the hunting clothes, and you go, that's only 30 yards. I make a shot over there if I have to, and I can draw pretty quick. I make a shot out here in the parking lot. I can do this. I can do that. I look around feeling pretty confident. Dude, I walk around with this little 8-shot 22 with a friggin' fiber optic sight on the top of it, and I'm like, I'm going to grab my kid and run, dude. I'm going to grab my kid and run, dude, because I don't want no smoke. Like, I'm not into it, man. I ain't looking for that fight. Like, not that I'm looking for any fights, but it really is kind of one of them. I find
that 30 yards goes from, I could make that shot to, I could sprint that far.
Yeah, bro. Yes. I can make a 30-yard shot. I just don't know, like, can I fucking credit card a dude at 30 yards with a 22 revolver?
Probably not.
I could do it at 15, though. I did it at 15 the other night, like a lot. I wasn't in Bass Pro shooting a lot of people. I mean, on the IDPA range, like,
Well, that explains the headline I saw on Apple News this morning.
Right. But you see my point. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Even when armed, now here I am, I got stabbies and pokies and sprays and flashlights and medical and gun. But walking around with this thing, I'm kind of walking around like I'm sort of unarmed. And I'm
the next best thing to unarmed.
I'm not so convinced that's a bad mentality. I think a little
conflict avoidance is a reasonable thing to like. I would even argue that should be the first thing in the top of your mind.
It is, but my point becomes, I'm just a little bit extra conscious of the like, ooh, I don't have a real gun.
So if we agree that conflict avoidance should be top of your mind, the buffer zone of conflict avoidance and fights on gets a little bit wider when you're dealing with ballistic pepper spray.
The bufferiest of zones.
Right.
You have to
be the demilitarized zone in South and North is right. Skinnier than the conflict avoidance zone when carrying such a cartridge.
Don't get me wrong. No wife, no kid. I don't mean they don't exist. I mean they're not presently with me at the moment, and you're actively murdering other people. I'm going to fight you with my 22 revolver. I will do that. I will absolutely do that. Wife and kid present, dude, I'm a trip old ladies on my way out of that bitch. I'm out. I'm all out. Right.
You hike the wife up underneath your arm like you're carrying a football, and you got your kids grabbing onto your pants pocket. Just hold on, Junior.
If anybody's hiking anybody up under any arms, it's probably Sophie grabbing both of us.
Probably.
You just tell her
she does
there's
train jujitsu more than you.
Well, oof. You just tell her there's maple syrup up by the Chick-fil-A parking lot. We're out. You can
authentic maple syrup.
Specifically, New England grade C maple syrup.
Damn.
I believe. I forget what the fucking letter is. I'm gonna get dude from up top. Like she's just gonna slam through the fucking roof here and like murder me. Maple syrup.
He's googling it.
Hey, yo, you damn right I am. Oh, here we go. There's the chart. Oh, this is the chart she sent me.
So while you're pulling that up real quick, I think it's worth circling back around on some of the points that I made earlier. And that is being, 22. I mentioned 25 ACP, 32 ACP. Here's the reality, folks. If I have to choose between those three calibers, I'm taking the 22. Why, you may ask? But TJ, it's much smaller.
Did you say?
If I have to choose between 32 ACP, 25 ACP, and 22 long rifle.
Yes. Okay.
I can agree that they all belong in the same category. That's my position. But you can't change my mind. It's not going to fucking happen. They are all anemic cartridges compared to their service caliber contemporaries. However, for a lot of the reasons that Kent said here in the show is why I would choose 22 long rifle. Not necessarily the penetration, although the ballistic chart, I'll be honest, kind of surprised me that 22 long rifle had a little bit more penetration than some of its cohorts. However, at least the Federal Punch anyway, the abundance and access to that cartridge, 25 ACP and 32 ACP are so damn difficult to get a hold of, especially in mass quantities, that it's a complete pain in the ass. All right, so let's clarify the choice of maple syrup. Grade C new is the old one. The new one is grade A, very dark and strong flavor.
Yes. So back in the day, they used to call that grade C. See, I learned something up there in New England or Old England.
Well, now you have enough knowledge to correct the missus when she says, "Find me that grade C stuff." I'm like, aha, they don't have grade C anymore.
Grade A amber, ma'am. And she'll be like, "You going up fucking Zebra's Hump Road up there in Huntington, and you gonna find you some goddamn grade C." I'll tell you right now.
Ain't no gas in it.
Ain't no gas in it. Yeah, man. So that ballistics chart. Here, we'll pull that shit back up just to be a little more specific.
Yeah, I think it's worth like really focusing on the distance of penetration.
So check a look here as we.
I don't think that's the same. Yeah, that's not the same one you had up, but yeah, it was Federal Premium. Calibers. But I think most notably is the advances that they've made to 22 long rifle. That's Cabela's again. Is it really a 29 grain?
Yeah.
That's surprising to me. If you want to take a shot at 150 yards, it's going to drop
800 inches. Oh no! Wait,
that's the velocity.
That's energy. That's velocity. Oh, hey.
Either way, it's got the ballistic trajectory of a tiny basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Now see why. All right. Here's what I'm going to do.
Now you lost it. It.
Yep.
Yeah. Just keep going back. You'll find it.
Found it.
There it is. All right. Scroll down. All right. So for 22 long rifle, so those that can't see the screen, if you listen on audio, 22 long rifle punch, 29 grain has a penetration into 10% FBI ballistics gel at 13.75 inches. Call it 14.
I'll take another quarter inch anywhere I can get one, big man.
What? Well, that is phrasing. Jesus Christ, phrasing. Anyway, for the record, though, if you look at any person that has really paid attention to 9mm and made that their choice, you will find that 9mm ball ammunition, 115 grain, will usually penetrate to about 14 inches. That's usually the threshold for which people will use to choose which. If their purpose in carrying that cartridge is penetration, that 14-inch mark is really what those guys seem to like. So 25 auto FMJ 50 grain has actually, I mean, for as anemic as the 25 auto cartridge is, I mean, a 13-inch penetration. I mean, we're talking about call it an inch difference between that and 22. That's still impressive. But again, my point remains the same. Good luck finding that shit.
I have a genuine question. And maybe it's just on me to go find it. Does anybody on this fucking planet make a 25 auto that runs?
Beretta makes.
Beretta?
No, I've seen the ones that Beretta makes are actually pretty reliable. I've never seen an issue from a feeding and function element. Now, let's be clear, the ammo quality is probably going to be shit. So you might get that click and no bang like you would with a rimfire cartridge. However, right. From a reliability of the gun itself, the little, I can't remember what they call. Is it the Bearcat or it's not a Cheetah?
I'm looking it up right now.
Tomcat. That's it. The Beretta Tomcat, which also comes in a 32 auto chambering as well. But it's a handy little gun. I've actually sold quite a few of those back in my day when I was on the other side of the gun counter. What I liked about those, just as a quick, just a quick sidebar, people that have diminished wrist grip and hand strength capacity to rack a slide back, despite the fact that you can train yourself through that. I get it. Some people just may have a significant you can pop there's a lever on it where it will actually open the breech vertically and pop the barrel up so you can manually load in one round, close the barrel, and then you can stuff your magazine in it and go to work. So pretty cool little design. Actually, I think Beretta just did that with one of their newer guns too. That's a bit more sizable. It's a larger size. I think it might be a 380. It might even be a 9mm, but it's a larger frame than that little bitty Tomcat.
80 right, so, Cheetah.
Yeah, something like that. So the 32 auto 60 grain has a measly penetration measurement of 8.5 inches. And then 32 auto TMJ 71 grain has probably the best penetration at 15.25 inches. But again, I have been shooting 32 a long time. I have yet to find a TMJ bullet, let alone one that's in 71 grains. So again, the availability of that is next to nothing, and it's expensive as hell for what it is. Right. So while ballistically, we could argue that, yeah, the 32 auto TMJ may outperform those, and you may even prefer the slightly larger caliber of 25 and above. However, good luck finding that shit. You have to take in the whole premise. Like if 9mm was as hard to get as 32 auto is, guess who wouldn't be shooting 9mm? These two motherfuckers right here on this podcast.
Right.
Right.
Holy
we both
crap.
Be shooting 22 at that point.
Look at the results for. I literally looked up 32 auto TMJ 71 grain. Whitetail Country Sports World, because everybody's heard of them. They come up. Sportsman's Warehouse comes up.
Yeah, but is it in stock?
Let's see. 32 ACP ammo at Sportsman's Warehouse. 71 grain FMJ.
Hold on. Exclude out of stock. Click that button. Exclude out of stock. I'm curious. Okay, there you go. So your results are now down to 4, and for
$1.85 per round.
Yeah, $1.85. That's from Buffalo Bore too. That'll probably blow up whatever 32 ACP you're shooting it out of, because there ain't. Yeah, for those uninitiated, plus P means essentially extra powder. So more power, more powder. It is a heavier charge. It will shoot harder, but your gun has to be rated for that. But yeah, so either way, I'm sold, dude. I go 22 long rifle all day long with that.
Yeah, I'm into it too.
Beretta 80X. Oh, you're looking up that 80X
This is making me want a new carry gun, like a real carry gun. What's this 80X Cheetah weigh?
Yeah, I don't know that this one has the barrel that pops up though.
So 380.
Yeah, but I don't know that the barrel pops. It doesn't do the open breech thing that I was talking about.
13 rounds, but to-do. What the hell is 680 grams in adult units? 680 grams. 2 pounds.
23.9 ounces. So,
pound and a half that gun weighs. That's not a light gun.
Yep.
Never mind.
For as small as it is.
Does not hear you. Does not hear.
You can't hear me?
Ginger's muted. So yeah, we're just over here, just practicing up on figuring out what guns are good and what guns ain't good.
Can you hear me now?
Does not hear. Maybe it's me. Settings, audio, AirPods.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Uh-oh.
You can now. Yeah, I know you can hear me because I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, my AirPods died, I think, is what happened.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I have to sit here.
We can finish this up.
Yeah.
We're just being adults and talking adults.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, like I was saying, though, I don't think that 80X Cheetah is the one that has the open breech on it.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I saw it on another YouTube video inside a gun shop. That is one feature about Berettas that I've always liked that they considered, especially for those that have, limiting physical abilities in their wrist, hands, and grip strength. So worth looking at.
Absolutely worth looking at.
But that brings us to the top of the hour, my friend. What do you got in closing?
Yeah, the only thing I would close with is just pretty simple. Like, don't kick it out of bed. Before you're about to tell somebody else why their ideas are stupid and their gun doesn't make sense and they're wrong and you're right and you know all the things, they don't know any of the things. If they would just listen to you, you teach them all the things. Proselytizing on the internet, fucking running your mouth like I used to all the time, like 8 days ago or whatever. Try this shit.
5 minutes ago.
Try the shit. Just go try the shit, dude. Just go get one and try it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have one nor have not tried it, then shut the whole fuck up until you have. Because you don't know. Right?
Yeah, I would even argue that, and let's touch on this real quick, because I got off of social media for many reasons. One of them is, the vacuous echo chamber that is the naysayers that are in overabundance on social media. For those, and the Second Amendment community is not immune to that either. The reality of the situation is, guys, before you poo-poo on the fact that someone's carrying, some, little bitty, shopkeeper special or bartender's friend or Saturday night special or pocket gun or whatever, how about you applaud them for taking the responsibility to stay armed at all times or as often as possible? If you were going to ask a question of anybody, and I think this is an earnest and a reasonable question, like, hey, man, that's great. I'm really glad you're carrying that. What have you learned about it? What have you thought about it? Have you explored any other options? More importantly, though, hey, when's the last time you signed up for a training class to really learn how to use that gun? You got muted. You muted yourself.
I'm not good at this without AirPods.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Well, let's wrap it up from there, bud. As always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We really hope you like the new show format. It's going to really allow Kent and I to continue to deliver you guys some great shows on a regular. Episode has been published. This episode will be published on Friday. By the way, as Kent did in true fashion last time, today is September 24th, 2023. Of course, we encourage you to get training, greenmountaindefense.com/training to check out Kent's training schedule. Hey, you never know. Pay attention. You might end up getting a class with both of us at some point. You're going to buy gun stuff anyway. You might as well buy gun stuff from our chosen affiliate links that help contribute to the creation of this podcast. greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links. Down there at the bottom of the screen, for those of you that haven't been paying attention. Of course, we do encourage you guys to carry medical. darkangelmedical.com is a great resource for you to fulfill that requirement. If you're going to carry a gun, you should carry medical. And even if you don't carry a gun, damn it, you should still carry medical. Also, check out the training calendar over at darkangelmedical.com because I, for one, have been recently. So good for him. We're happy to see Kerry doing the Lord's work out there and teaching people how to save lives, which is really the intent that all of us have in this industry, at least those that are worth their damn salt that Kent and I are willing to talk to and broadcast to you on this show free of charge. With that being said, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you all for your time. Till we see each other again, God bless you all. Take care of each other. Get out and shoot.
Bye, guys.